All right, this is Brent Marvick with BP Kitchen Equipment, and we have here a 2018 Bizerba GSP H slicer. The GSP H stands for manual. It probably stands for something in German, but all the GSP H models are manual. They're very simple, very easy. There's only 2 buttons on this. Got an off button and an on button. Light turns on, and we also have an illuminated knob on this one. Whenever the blade is running, show it here. Whenever the blade is running or the carriage is open without the blade running, it'll flash. See here, it'll flash red. And then the moment that I open the carriage while the blade is running, it stays a solid red. Bizerba does that just as a safety mechanism, and we try to make sure that all the safety mechanisms properly work on these machines. That's part of what we do. But real quick, let me talk about the cosmetic condition of the slicer. It's overall in pretty good shape for being in 2018. It just has a couple of cosmetic scratches. See some dings around here. Overall, it's in pretty good shape. Really not a lot going on in the gauge plate. The blade cover is worn, but it is usable. Again, this is just cosmetic. You can see here that there's some nicks, some scratches. The blade is in great shape. Still has quite a bit of life left. And yeah, most of the damage to the slicer is really just on the edges, as it almost always is. No matter if you get a 2023 or a 2016. Yeah, so overall in pretty good shape. So I'll talk about the operation slicer again. I pretty much showed all that there is. You can turn the blade on when the blade is recessed, open it up, say you want to slice at 1 millimeter. Just put your item in here, put the gravity feed down. This will automatically just push whatever your item is, and as you're slicing, you'll continue pushing whatever item it is. It falls out the backside. Here's the scraper, it just scrapes the blade of any remnants, food remnants that are on it. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. This is Bizerba's basic model. In my opinion, they also last the longest. I've worked with SE12s that are from 2002, 2005. They really are just workhorses. Something else, I'm not sure if you noticed, but the blade automatically shut off. That's actually a safety feature that I set. You can change it if you want, but we currently have it set to where the blade does not run whenever it is open. It only turns on when it's closed. And then after 30 seconds of non-use, it will automatically shut off on its own. I believe you can change it to 15. You can change it to where it runs infinitely. You can change it to 45. We leave it on the way that Bizerba has it, which is where the blade can only turn on when it's recessed and turns off after 30 seconds of use. Yeah, so why buy one of these from BP Kitchen Equipment? Like here at BP, we don't test and wipe down anything. A lot of eBay sellers will just get it on an auction. You see, it turned off automatically. They'll say, all right, let's see the blade turned on, and it moves back and forth, and yeah, it's good to sell. I actually take, I think on these manuals, they take an average of 4 to 5 hours, and I actually go through and double check all of the components. I make sure that everything's working well. I make sure that the board that is behind here has been tested and works. Make sure that all the parts in here are screwed down, tightened, Loctited if need be. Make sure everything's lubricated. What we do is there's actually a mechanism. You can look at this piece right here. As I turn the dial, that moves to the left, right? As I move it to the right, it moves to the right. So I make sure that whole mechanism in there is properly lubricated. I go out and I clean out all the old lubrication and I put in new lubrication. I only use Bizerba grease. This rod right here needs machine oil for it to slide up and down on. It's not oiled, it's really sticky. Sometimes it doesn't even move. What I do is I clean that rod. I re-lubricate it with Bizerba H1 Food Safe machine oil. Same thing with this rod. The carriage actually slides back and forth on, all the way to the back and all the way forward. I clean it off of all the old lubrication, make sure that it's completely bare metal, and then I re-lubricate it with new stuff from Bizerba. We really do. We just want to sell you a high quality product. We don't want you to purchase a slicer, then a couple days or even a couple months after have to go and call Bizerba out to service it, or whatever technician you have, or yourself. Whatever we sell you, we want it to work. We cover it by 120 days. We make sure that you're guaranteed to get a good product, and you're guaranteed to get something that is worth your money and that will last a long time from you. Something else that we do is we actually make sure the blade that you're getting has most of its lifespan left. So there's a gap between here and there's a gap that comes from Bizerba, right? That gap is 1 millimeter from the factory on a brand new blade. Bizerba recommends you replace it when that gap that was 1 millimeters gets to 6. So what we do is there's 5 working millimeters of the blade, right? We make sure that at least 66% of that 5 millimeters is still there. So we make sure that you're gonna buy a slicer and you're not gonna have to replace a blade for 300 bucks. Yeah, these blades are gonna last a long time from you, at least a year in my estimations. They've been sharpened. Something else to show you right now. So you're not gonna get a blade that's dull or a blade that has any nicks. Here we go. We make sure that the blade is so sharp that it can cut a sheet of paper very easily. Here we go. We do that just so, again, this slicer's can be ready to work for you right when you get it. You're not gonna have to go get a sharpener for it immediately. You're not gonna have to sharpen it. You're not gonna find out that, oh my gosh, there's a nick in the blade. But we replace the blades if need be. We make sure that as it arrives, you can take it out and immediately put it into use. The last thing we do is we calibrate the safety mechanisms. So as you can see, right now the blade is exposed to 0.5 millimeter. I actually double check and I make sure that the gap between the blade and the gauge plate is 0.5 millimeter. I have to calibrate every single one of these. It's a joy. So I make sure that this knob is accurate and it's not just some arbitrary number. And I also make sure that whenever it is actually safe to come in here, this actually flashes green. And the moment that the blade is exposed, it flashes red. We do it as a safety precaution. We just follow Bizerba's recommendations. I mean, as they come from the factory, all the safety mechanisms work as they should, obviously. We bring these old slicers back up to use. So even though you're getting a slicer, potentially, half off, 66% off, whatever the number may be from brand new, it still has the brand new specs that you would get. So it still has proper safety mechanism, a sharp blade, it's lubricated, it's ready to go. Yeah, I'll just end with all of our slicers are backed by 120-day warranty. If you have any questions about our machines, please just feel free to contact me and ask away. My name is Bren Marvick and my number is 720-334-0129. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.